Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to do another garden tour and see how much everything has grown in a week. So this is our watermelon plants. They're looking beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and take the healthiest plants, leave those, and compost any of the ones that are a little bit smaller. We're leaving 3 per mound. Here we have a pasta squash plant, and these guys have started putting on flowers, and female flowers, male flowers, so hopefully we'll get some of those soon. This one seems to only have male. There's a female flower right there. I'm not sure if it got pollinated or not, but we will find out in a few days. So like I was saying, we have the female flower here, and then I'll show you a good example of the male flower. The female flower is the one that will produce the fruit, and that's the one that looks like the pasta squash. And this is a male flower, same variety of plant, just a different plant. And this has a long stem, that's how you know it's the male flower. A few other baby pasta squashes, I believe. This one was pollinated. Looks a little bit bigger. We have a few more plants here. And then we move on to our zucchinis, which are absolutely loaded. We are going to be overrun with zucchini soon. Which is not a problem for me because I absolutely love zucchini. My dad loves zucchini too. And it's the same for the zucchini. The female flower has the fruit on it. This one definitely looks like it was pollinated because it's getting pretty big. This is one that has not been pollinated yet. It has not opened yet. And then the male flower will be, these are all female flowers on this plant, but they can be pollinated from one of the other zucchini plants. And probably from the spaghetti squash too, which won't be a problem this year because I don't plan on saving the seeds from these. But the male flower would also be a long stem with a flower at the end, no baby fruits. We have a few tomato plants here. Some have been staked and others have not been. Then we have our pepper plants, poblano and jalapeno. This one has some flowers open on it. Came by last week and there were some flowers on one of these plants. I believe it's one that's over there somewhere. So that should be turning into a pepper now. Coming over here, we have a whole row of tomatoes. We have Mountain Magic tomatoes and Pruning tomatoes, and they are growing like crazy. I've had to prune off a bunch of suckers, and I will show you what a sucker looks like in a minute. And most of them are flowering, and if they're not flowering, they have flower buds on them. So we will have tomatoes very soon. Here's a sucker right here. A sucker grows, it's like a little baby tomato plant that grows in between the stem and the branch. It's growing right in here. And I want to prune most of those off because they just steal energy from the plant. There's another one right here. Off any low-hanging branches. There's another sucker. Now you can take these suckers and root them by either putting them in a cup of water, or you can just plant them in the soil and they should turn into a whole nother tomato plant. I have enough tomato plants, so I'm not going to bother doing that today. And here's a big one right here. This one would be perfect to root. I would just take off the lower branches. Stick them in some good soil. Maybe not this soil, it's a little dry. Or you can stick them in a little pot with some seed starter or potting soil. It's another watermelon plant. I'm going to go ahead and pick which ones I like best. And I'm going to take this one out. I have an eggplant here. I believe this one was already pollinated. Ouch, there's prickers on there. So we should have eggplant soon as well. And we have 4 of those plants. This one has a nice, beautiful, open up flower. And there are plenty of bees here, so I'm not worried about them getting pollinated. And then we have a few more pepper plants. These are also poblano and jalapeno. And then the last one back there is a mixed bell pepper. The one thing that's not growing so well is this cabbage. I showed you last week, it was looking beautiful. And we had a little bunny come and nibble them all off, but that is okay. I'm perfectly fine with sharing with the bunnies, and it looks like it's growing back for them to eat. Most of our loofahs are growing good. The weeds are taking over a bit here, but we will handle those soon. For now, they can stay. Then we come around to our onions, which are looking much better this week. And they have all sprouted now. All down the line there. This is our cantaloupe. And I'm going to do the same thing here, leaving 3 per mound. We have our sweet potato slips that are recovering from their transplant shock. We have a few of them down here. It's hard to see in all the weeds. More cantaloupe. And then we have our potatoes. These are the true potatoes from seed that we started. There's a few more down that row. I believe we have 3 rows of those. More cantaloupe. I'm going to pull this one because it's not looking so good. Those 2 are a little close together, but I think I'm going to leave them for now. If it becomes a problem in the future, I will take those out. One of those out. And then we have 2 rows of our potatoes that we started from seed potatoes. So these are little potatoes that I planted in the ground and that were sprouted, and now they are looking beautiful. These are a mix of Kennebec and Yukon Gold. Not sure which one is which, but we'll know when we harvest them. And this is all I have to show you for today. The last video you'll see before the baby is here. Today is June 5th, and I will see you next week. Have a blessed day.